Hi, my name's Alex Paullin. I'm a National Geographic explorer from the United States and the founder of Conservation Music, building a global network of musicians and youth volunteers to deliver environmental education through the power of music.
In today's world, environmental problems have become one among major global threats to humanity. The United Nations has warned early this year that 1 in 4 deaths worldwide are linked to pollution and other environmental damage caused by human beings. It is estimated that 9 million deaths each year can be attributed just to pollution, with outdoor and indoor gases being the biggest danger. Daily News Digital gets to interview this 20-year-old musician and environmentalist Alex Paullin, who left everything he knew growing up in his hometown Virginia in the United States to come to Africa. He embarked on a journey that aims at promoting awareness of environmental conservation through music. He shares his journey, experience, and aspirations towards making a positive change for the planet.
Conservation music is essentially a movement that is building a network of musicians and youth volunteers at a global level to deliver environmental education through the power of music.
How did it start, and what is it exactly aiming at?
Yeah, so conservation music started in 2015, which is quite a long story, but I'd be happy to share it with you if you would like. The aim is, well, there are several aims, really. I mean, on the one hand, the environmental movement at large has been fighting an uphill battle to recruit the public for many, many years. And for some reason, some messaging about the environment seems to go in one ear and out the other. Or maybe the only exposure to environmental education that you get is in school, and then once you get out, you forget about it. Or you may never receive environmental education at all, right? So through the power of music, we're able to create these really engaging and exciting pieces of content in local languages and local musical styles that can sort of appeal to a deeper sense of culture and also be a lot easier to remember. So the neuroscience behind music is incredible. I mean, essentially what science has told us is that music is one of the most powerful tools for communication that exists. Music can break down a lot of these walls, and it activates more regions of the brain simultaneously than any other means of communication. It taps into a deeper sense of memory, and it has an emotional context. So even if you don't care about something that somebody tells you, if you hear it with a rhythm or a melody or a harmony attached to it, it can tap into a deeper level of not only your mind, but some would say your heart, right? If you can feel what someone is trying to communicate to you, you might be just that much more motivated to actually do something about it. And at the end of the day, the key in environmental education is that knowledge is not enough, right? The knowledge that you gain about the environment has to lead to action for that education to really be effective.
You to actually connect your music or your talents and environment. Was it school? Was it maybe personal experience? What was it exactly?
I basically spent my whole life on a quest trying to figure out exactly what my contribution was going to be to the earth, to the world, really. I knew that I loved the environment, I knew that I loved nature, I knew that I loved music, and I had a capability to play it and understand it. And I knew that I was passionate about leadership. I also knew that I wouldn't die a happy man if I hadn't made some sort of an impact on the world. You know, I'm much less concerned about what I can gain financially. I'm much more concerned about what I can contribute, not as a legacy to be remembered by, but just as an impact that on my deathbed one day, or whatever happens to me, you know, I'll be satisfied to know, no, I did something. You know, my life had meaning. And I really believe that everybody has one, right? Some people have more than one. And for some people, the more than one calling can be blended into one, and that's basically what I did. Just a couple of weeks ago, I was with musicians on the banks of Mount Kilimanjaro who have been using music and the lineage of their grandfathers for over 150 years to communicate the principles of conservation. So it's a band of Chaga elders who's teaching the local community about the importance of terraces, tree planting, and other environmental principles through their own music. So I was extremely humbled to come across those people because they've been doing what I do for a lot longer. It's at a very different scale, but it is so respectable, and I'm really excited to continue working with them.
How best do you think young people globally, starting from Tanzania, can be involved in environmental conservation at large?
Ooh, there's a lot of ways, you know. I mean, getting involved in environmental conservation at large is a huge concept. I mean, there's such a wide breadth, right? I mean, you can get involved in wildlife, you can try to be a ranger, you can become somebody who rehabilitates wildlife, you can organize trash pickups, you can find anything that you're uniquely inspired to do as it relates to some problem that you see with our environment, and you can go do it. No matter who you are, no matter what you normally do, there's a way to apply your unique talents and motivations to the environment. You can be a musician, you can do something for the environment. You can be a politician, you can do something for the environment. You can be a corporate CEO, you can do something for the environment. I just realized something, like as artists, we have these powerful voices, and we should really be speaking up for the earth, because the earth doesn't have much capability to speak up for itself. In fact, when the earth speaks up for itself, it comes in the form of hurricanes and cyclones, like what happened in Mozambique, which is about to happen again, maybe even as far north as Dar es Salaam, right? When the earth speaks up for itself, it's when it's been pushed beyond its limits and people die, right? So who can speak for the earth? And musicians are one of those groups.
So currently the government of Tanzania has announced the ban of plastic bags coming June 1st. What's your comment on that?
I like plastic bag bans. I think they're cool. From what I hear, sometimes they enact such bans and they don't necessarily last. So it'll be interesting to see what happens with this one. But I'm for it. I think it's a good idea. I'm excited, you know, like high five, government of Tanzania, for your plastic bag ban. And I hope it works out. And I'll definitely be watching, and we'll see what happens.
Tanzania's hip-hop artist One the Incredible, who has worked with conservation music, gives his insights on environmental activism through his music.
I've just never really known how to associate it with my music. So when I met Alex, and he gave me the whole concept of conservation music and what they are doing and how they're trying to put the efforts in preserving our environment, but at the same time use music or use musicians and artists. They could use their creative edge or level or their influence to actually influence other people to actually make a change for the environment. And when he explained it to me, I understood it so well to when I was like, wow, I didn't know I could think this way. So we went to the studio in Bagamoyo, Safiri Zaoste studio, and I listened to what they were working with. And I told them, yes, I can do this, because I have never really associated my music with environmental preservation. So at this point, based on how we explained it to me, the side effects of the day-to-day activities that we as human beings go to and how we choose to dispose of the waste that we have after we've used whatever it is that we've taken, and how it affects life, not just human beings, just creatures, environment itself. And I looked at it as, yes, as human beings, we're always worried about what we want, what we need, how we're going to live, but we never really care about where we are. This is our home. Earth has given us a home. It's giving us everything, food, everything, basically. And we are always worried about us, not where we stay. We were having a conversation, I think yesterday. We had a sit down, and one of the people actually explained this. They said, if you actually ask people to clean their neighborhood today, they're probably going to sweep their trash to the next door neighbor. Simply why? Because their house is clean. But now the next door neighbor's house is dirty. But still, same environment. So we never really take time to understand that these little things that we do in order to actually convince ourselves we're bettering our environment actually affects the entire system, the entire ecosystem, the earth. If it does that, it affects the life that is actually on earth, animals, people. Now we've heard that when you listen to this, and this is actually in the northern region, you could hear that nowadays elephants walk into other people's farms and eat their crops. Why? Because we're cutting down their trees. Now we're actually pushing them to a point where they're actually in short supply of food. So they'll have to go somewhere to look for it. That's the thing. So these little things, and they're always human activities. You never see an elephant burn down a tree. You would never see a lion sweep grass or throw away plastic. Sharks don't swim around throwing wastes. So it's always human. And if we're the ones that actually cause this, then we're the only ones that can actually fix that.
There's a quote that says, if you want to live a few more years, start doing it today. Save environment. Stay updated with all our latest news, features and entertainment stories by subscribing to this YouTube channel. Visit our websites habarileo.co.tz and dailynews.co.tz and follow us on social media, Facebook, Instagram and Twitter. This is Janet Mesomapia, Daily News Digital, Dar es Salaam.